to.
Well, I thought it would be a plurality. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Saladino beat the whole group. He beat the whole field.
I think we're going to get started now.
Not Mike. And I don't take it.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to call to order the November 9th, 2017 meeting of the Nassau County Interim Finance Authority. Before we start, did you want to...
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to interrupt the meeting briefly to recognize that one of our most faithful attendees at this meeting, Charlie, our cameraman, will be retiring after this meeting, and so I wanted to thank him for his years of service.
Thank you, Charlie. Also, just note for the record, we do have a few members absent, but we have more than enough to qualify as a quorum, so we can take all the necessary actions tonight. And the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of October 17, 2017.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Next is we have a contract, consideration of a county contract with Peter Scalamandri and Sons. Do you want to address that, please?
Yes, we have for your consideration this contract. It's for approximately $7.7 million, and it is for the installation of sewer lines to connect interceptors. It's funded with capital funds that will need NIPA authorization in the future. So approval of this contract does not guarantee approval of the funding, but it is being presented for approval.
If I may ask a question, because this, I think some of these are, time is of the essence type contracts because of the paving season. Is the funding available for at least what they need to do? Do they at least have borrowed funds on hand for the stuff they need to do over the short term?
Well, this is the change order for continuing work that has already begun, and it's,
Oh, it's sewer, I'm sorry.
yes.
Temporary paving.
Sewer's the next one. Repeat that question when the next one comes out. Okay, thanks. Yeah, just curious if you have enough to start, because
The chamber is fully funded.
so that one has the borrowings on hand for this piece of it.
Can you identify yourself, everyone? Please.
Ken Arnold, Public Works, this appropriation for this change order was funded.
Thanks, Ken.
Okay, thank you.
I'll move it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm recusing myself on this and other contract.
Wait, 4 carries.
Okay, so we have four votes in favor, so it does carry. The next contract, consideration county contract for Pratt Brothers.
Yes, this contract is for $8 million, and this is a road resurfacing requirements contract that covers 3 towns and 2 cities that are listed in the summary that I sent to you. And this one is absolutely listed as requiring capital funds that will need authorization.
So that's 4. 3 was Basilico, 4 was Pratt in our book.
Okay, so which one are we doing right now?
That was on 4.
Oh,
Yeah, we skipped Basilico. We skipped 3. Sorry.
okay, so we're doing Pratt first?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, so Pratt for $8 million, and for road resurfacing.
And Pratt was not the first choice or the lowest bid, right? But they matched the low bid when there was a dropout. Just the one?
Bid, yes, there were 2
Was
sealed
the
bids,
original
and
bid?
the one had to drop out.
Okay. I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm recusing myself on this vote.
Okay. We have 4 votes, the motion carries. Next one is consideration of county contract for Basilico Civil Incorporated.
Yes, and so this contract is for approximately $9 million, and it's another road resurfacing contract, and this is for roads in the towns of Oyster Bay. And this one, they're hoping to receive up to 80% in federal grant reimbursement, and the remainder will be covered with capital funds.
Is the funding in place for that, for at least the 20%?
It was my understanding it was not. It is?
The appropriations is added up to cash.
And that was Mr.
Okay.
Arnold for the record. I'll move it.
The appropriation, what is it? The appropriation is, but the cash is not. So I'll repeat what you
Second.
said.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm recusing myself on this vote as well.
Okay, we have 4 votes, so the motion still carries. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of tax anticipation notes, borrowing by Nassau County.
The county is requesting authorization to issue tax anticipation notes. They've done this for several years, and we've approved them, even though we recognize that it's not the sign of the healthiest county, but many municipalities do this. Last year, they borrowed $260 million for tax anticipation notes. This year, they're asking for authorization for up to $380. And the reason they say for the increase is because they are not using borrowed money to fund the tax cert liability, and they also have to set aside a large amount for a judgment. So, as I say, it's not the sign of the healthiest county, but it's something we've done in the past, so staff recommends that you approve this.
So to word it differently, they are going to use borrowed money for the judgment and the certs, but it's short-term borrowing to be repaid with tax revenues.
Yes, exactly.
I'll move it.
I just
Well,
have a
just one
question.
What is the, Eric, what is here? What is the savings of making the pension payment early? Can you just talk about that? Sure.
It's approximately $1.5 million by prepaying the pension.
Right, you save the money that the state would charge you as interest, right?
Right. Yeah, if we waited till February 1st, we would pay more.
Right. But you're still under the program where you've deferred prior obligations for the last, for.
Yes, we're continuing with that.
Okay. So this doesn't affect that.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask Mr. Norton a few questions on this?
I'm in a ledge meeting. I'm sorry.
Well, I never asked you questions at a ledge meeting. I think you asked me, as a matter of fact. But in any event, how do you intend to repay the borrowings for the certs? The TAN borrowings that you're doing, how do you intend to repay those?
That's coming from our normal cash flow. Just to correct the record a little bit, in the past we used to issue a RAN in the summer, which would have been about $120 million, plus we would have also done a TAN, which we were actually rolling notes, so we actually had both notes outstanding at the same time. We got rid of that practice, which has been recognized by the rating agencies. So now we're just doing one borrowing each year, and that's why we actually have the inflated amount.
So does that mean you intend?
Well, you did a RAN, you did one last year also.
But this year we did not do one.
Yes, but what I'm saying is it's apples to apples. Last year you didn't do a RAN and you just did a TAN. This year you're also just doing a TAN and not a RAN. So the amount you're borrowing this
It's the
year.
same in total for the notes.
It's the total of what it would have been for a RAN and a TAN, but the TAN has increased
Correct.
over 100 million.
How much of that is for certs?
It's not specifically for certs, but what we look at is just our overall cash needs. As you're aware, this year we chose not to borrow for tax certs, so we're drawing down our cash by about $60 million. We also have to set money aside for a judgment that's also eating into our cash. Had we actually borrowed for those things long term, then our TAN would have been much lower.
And
All right,
only-
you're aware of the
you can
fact
only roll these. You can only roll these twice, right? So you,
Well, we're not rolling it. I mean, we're
They pay it off each year.
right. So yeah, so it needs to be paid off.
yeah, it gets paid off next year from regular revenue.
Evan, the $60 million he's talking about, is that the money we have at risk in the budget?
No, he's referring to paying out tax cert refunds this year,
Currently.
2017.
By the end of the
By the end
year?
of the year.
Correct.
Okay.
May I just ask sort of a rhetorical question? In terms of the pension payments, for debt service on the pension payments now, I believe is approximately the same as your pension contribution, isn't it?
The amount total outstanding is, Lisa, if you want to jump in.
Be on the record, yeah, but go ahead. I just want to clarify that the debt service on these things does not go away, and because it's amortized over a number of years, they're continuing to pay a tremendous amount of debt service to support this program.
Actually, what's being paid back now, like this year for 18, let's say for 18, what we're going to be paying back now in the installment payments for the prior years exceeds the amortization we would take in 18. So it's flipped now. The benefit that we get from the amortization each year from this point forward is getting smaller, and our expense is going up because we have to pay back all the
Plus the
previous
current,
years.
so you're paying back the past year plus whatever the current year is.
Yeah, it's, for the most part, I think the first year was like a 10-year installment, and then after that,
And the
after
only
that,
benefit-
everything's
The only
12.
benefit you might get is the rising tide from a better market on the average 5-year cost of the pension contribution.
So what you're
Although
basically
we're
saying,
noticing our expenses
it's now
are coming
costing
down.
taxpayers more each year than it would have cost them if we just paid it out the way it was supposed to.
You got the cash flow in the beginning, up at the front, and
But
now,
that's done.
now it's, right, exactly.
This is exactly what happens.
Just gotta speak English.
When you kick the can.
Other municipalities are benefiting from pension contribution rates falling in recent years. Nassau County hasn't been able to take advantage of that as much because of the installment payments from prior years of deferring the pension
So when
contribution.
you kick the can down the road, that's where you're gonna find the can.
So you haven't voted yet, I believe.
Okay,
on this
so
yet?
is there a second on the 10?
I think Paul seconded it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this motion carries. The next item on the agenda is a consideration of bond anticipation notes or general obligation bonds borrowing by Nassau County.
So the county would like authorization to issue approximately $98 million in bond anticipation notes. These notes support various projects which were entered into to help the sewer system. And they were issued as short-term notes because if the county ultimately did a P3 privatization, they wanted to be easily able to take out these notes. So since the county has not decided whether or not to do a P3, they want authorization to roll them over for another year. But if the new county executive, in consultation with the legislature, decides they're not going ahead with the P3, they also might take them out as bonds and turn them out over a longer period of time. So you're asking for authorization for $98,150,000 of bands or possibly bonds, depending upon what happens in the legislature.
This is just a
It's just a roll now.
rollover of something that's previously been
Yes,
issued.
it's just rolling over what's already been there, but at some point, bond
Has to be
anticipation
taken out,
notes
has to be
have
taken out. That's what I was saying before.
It's like
You
what
have a
happened
few
in New
years
York
you
City.
can roll it.
At a certain point, you just can't keep rolling debt
No.
over and over. So at
Yes,
some
actually,
point,
he has to issue the bond you
they
anticipate.
either have to issue the bonds or they have to find the cash to
Sure.
pay these off.
Jeremy, these funds have already been expended.
Yes, and there's a list in your book here,
On the back page.
which lists the general areas where they were
It
expended.
was mostly facility improvements, it looks like, and equipment.
But if they did a P3, in theory, they'd get enough cash to pay off.
And is any of the work that was described in here receiving any federal money from FEMA or Sandy reimbursement or anything?
All the money's already in.
Okay.
That's good, Joe.
Okay, if there's any, unless there's any other questions, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is disapproving the county's multi-year financial plan for fiscal 2018 through 2021 and requiring that the county shall provide a modified plan by November 27, 2017. I will just skip right over to the resolved clauses. Say that NYFA hereby disapproves the revised plan because it, 1, fails to contain projections of revenues and expenditures that are based on reasonable and appropriate assumptions and methods of estimation. 2, fails to provide that operations of the county will be conducted within the cash resources available according to NYFA's revenue estimates. 3, fails to comply with the requirements of the NYFA Act. And 4, fails to comply with NYFA Resolution 17-689 that was passed at the last meeting. We have identified those items that were rejected, which totaled $31.5 million, and it's resolved that the legislature and the county executive get back to us with a modified plan by November 27th with a plan as to how they would resolve this. Failure of the county to fully fund revised budget with recurring revenues totaling $31.5 million required by this resolution shall, in the opinion of NYFA, place the county in a fiscal crisis as defined in the NYFA Act.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Yes.
And as, just having made the motion, I would just point out that this is, the staff has once again, by the way, done a great job of assessing the revised budget, producing an updated review of the budget for the board's consideration. This is a golden opportunity for the elected officials of Nassau County to do the job they've been elected to do, the job that NIFA has otherwise been doing for them for years, and balance the budget so that they can enjoy the fiscal self-determination that comes from being elected to office and running the government they were elected to run.
Yes, and as we said before, we do expect a modified plan by the 27th with those priorities and those items that the county has decided should either be cut or revenues that need to be enhanced. Any other questions? Is there a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
Move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you.
Aye.